All right, I have two passed there, so I guess let's go ahead and call the Halifax Finance Committee meeting to order at 6:02 p.m. Today is Monday, January 22nd, 2024. This meeting is being conducted remotely and recorded by Area 58. In attendance from the Halifax Finance Committee is Cheryl Zerla-Burke, Michael Bennett, Bill Smith, Frank Johnston, Jim Walters, myself, Todd Dargy, and absent is EJ Bryan. So first order of business is the acceptance of the Finance Committee meeting minutes from January 8th, as well as the Wage and Personnel meeting that was conducted back on December 28th of 2023. I guess we'll start with the latter one, I guess. So I did see there was an update passed down today for the Wage and Personnel meeting. Were there any other changes, I guess, from anyone, or is everybody happy with those being the final version, I guess? I'll take that as a yes, I guess. Would somebody like to make a motion then to approve the Wage and Personnel meeting minutes from December 28th?
Second.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Cheryl. Roll call vote, Frank?
Yes, on December the 28th, 2023 minutes.
Yeah, and that's for the Wage and Personnel as well, just to be clear. Jim?
Yes, on the Wage and Personnel minutes.
Bill, you there?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, I didn't hear you.
Thank you. Cheryl?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
And I'm going to abstain because I wasn't in attendance for that meeting. So motion carries 5-0. The second set of minutes was from our last meeting, the January 8th. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Thank you, Michael.
Second.
Thank you, Cheryl. Roll call vote, Frank?
Yes, on the January 8th minutes.
Jim?
Yes, on the Finance Committee meeting minutes from the 8th.
Bill?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
And I am a yes as well. Motion carries 6-0. All right, so that takes care of that. And then, so next up on the agenda was the reserve fund transfer request. I don't know, Scott, are you on the line, or Cody, have you heard from him? I see a couple folks dialed in, but I'm not sure.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Got you there? Okay. All right, so we did, so thank you, Sandy, for sending that along. We received the memo there from Sandy Scott earlier today. So it looks like within the document sent over, there were 3 proposals received, one in the amount of $9,500, the second one for $8,925, and the third for $7,800, which looks like one we're going with. It does break down that $7,800 to a net $6,400, which looks like $1,396 of town materials being used or something there. So, maybe if you could give us a little background on that and with the contractor itself, have we used them in the past and things of that nature, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, we've used him in the past with great results.
Okay.
He's been reliable. He's kept to his timetable. The difference in the price was we purchased the material. He was tight on time and light on cash because he had a lot of other jobs, similar storm issues. And so to actually help our price a little bit, because there's no markup if we buy the material, we purchased the material, had it waiting for him. So
is this material, Scott, that we already have on hand, or we need to go out and still make this purchase, I guess?
No, we've already made the purchase. The
Okay.
job is done. I couldn't wait to get it done. We had another storm coming.
Oh, gotcha.
Right
Okay.
it, so, yep. So, no, the job is complete.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess with that being said, I guess any other questions from anyone, I guess, yeah.
Is that common practice to get the work done before the bid and the committee's had a chance to look at it?
So
No, I
this,
guess 3 prices before I had the job done.
I understand
And
that.
I was still under 10,000, and we had another storm barreling in right behind it. I didn't really have a choice. If I didn't do that, we were going to have extreme damage to the rest of the building.
If I can just interject for a minute. So this, the only thing that the finance committee is approving is the transfer from the reserve fund to cover the unexpected costs. The procurement was followed. Scott and I talked about it, but when, the part of the roof pretty much ripped off, there was leaking water. He had to act pretty quickly.
Sure. Just a question. Thanks.
Now,
You know-
this is the water department, reserve fund this money's coming from, is that correct?
Yes. And I would recommend approving the full amount. I know the vendor was only the 7,800, but the cost for the project was that full. I'm sorry, he's only requesting the 6,400, but I would recommend approving the full amount because that was the cost of the total project, the 7,800.
Well, so where did the 1396, I guess, come from as of now?
It's all coming from Scott's budget.
Yeah.
Scott basically paid for it, and then the idea is to just reimburse that account because it was an unexpected expense.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, I think I think it makes total sense, I guess. But, one thing just for going forward, I guess might be helpful if like within the memo or something, it just details whether or not it's like already been completed or not, just that we know kind of going in, if this is something we're looking to do or we're already kind of had to do because of an emergency, just that kind of thing. So we have an idea of, what we're looking at, I guess, when it comes over would be helpful. But agreed, this is a small amount. It's under the 10,000. So, and I do think it makes sense if he's covered this full 7,800 through his budget, he shouldn't be, penalized, I guess, for the 1396. I would suggest we, approve the full 7,800, but definitely want to hear from others, I guess, what other folks think or any thoughts, questions, concerns. Anyone?
So we paid the contractor 68?
78.
78?
64. No, 64.
6404 is what the contract said.
6404 was paid to the contractor, and we're moving 78.
Well, because he ate the 1396 from his budget to cover the gap. So the full project was the 7,800. Vendor got the 6404, but Scott pulled 1396 out of his operating budget. That wasn't expected.
So that money, once again, is coming from the water department to replenish Scott's account, correct?
Yes.
Yes, the water department reserve fund. So we put $50,000 a year into the water department reserve fund, and then we put 75 into just the general town government reserve fund.
Right. Okay.
Any questions or concerns with doing so? Anyone? No. Okay, I guess we would just need an updated memo, I guess, obviously, for the transfer. Request, Sandy, right?
Okay.
Updated, what do you need updated? Just to say water reserve?
Yeah, because he's requesting 6404, not 7800.
All right,
Yeah, I can do this tomorrow.
yep.
But I think we can go ahead and do the vote now. So would somebody like to make a motion for the reserve fund transfer request to move $7,800 even from the water department to the town building expense account?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Cheryl. Roll call vote. Frank?
Yes, to transfer $7,800.
Jim?
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
And I am a yes as well. Motion carries 6-0. All right, so that takes care of that one. I guess the next item on the agenda was the fiscal 25 budget liaison update. So I guess maybe just a quick update from everyone. Has everyone had a chance to meet with their department heads to go through the budgets? Any feedback or anything?
No, I thought it was excellent. I met with Cody and Sandy and went over their budgets, and it was very informative and very productive time spent. So it was a great thing to do.
Yeah, I agree. I've been over mine too with Cody and Sandy.
Okay, great. Yeah, Frank, Jim, Bill, have you guys had a chance to meet?
Yes, met with
Yes.
the fire department and the water department, and I like the way we're going about it this year on the front side, earlier and a lot more detail into what's going on in the in-person meeting there ahead of time instead of through the Zoom.
Right.
It
Yeah.
was very productive. Building department's good to go. A little work being redone on the fire department labor budget numbers that I'm assuming that we'll have a meeting again soon for that to clarify those numbers on that.
Okay, great. Jim and Bill, I guess likewise, anything?
Yeah, well, I met with Cody and I met with Gene over at the library at his office. Sandy was in attendance. We had a pretty good meeting. I think there was some data that we didn't have at that meeting that was sent back to us by Gene, which was which was beneficial, at least from my perspective, to getting a better understanding of kind of what the library is doing and how they're operating. I made a couple of suggestions to Gene to kind of do more of an earned value analysis from a budget perspective as to where the money's at on her operating expenses. But I mean, she's got her own thing that she does, which has been working for her, so that's fine. So she's going to continue down that road. But it was a great meeting. So far as the schools go, Cody's got his finger on the pulse of that. Still nothing back from them at this point. Yeah. Again, with budget cuts coming down from the governor, cherry sheets are probably delayed a little bit. So that's probably going to be a process in the works. I'm actually have my fingers crossed that we don't get a budget the day of town meeting like we did last year.
Hopefully.
So Jim, I got word from them. They're presenting a preliminary budget on February 8th at the school committee. I can forward you the invite.
Sure.
I'm planning to attend, so I'll forward it to you, and then we will be meeting shortly after that with them.
Okay.
To try to refine that budget.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. All right, and Bill, I think you're the only one left. Were you able to meet, I guess, with your...
Yes, I met with the Board of Health.
Okay.
Everything was fine with them. We met with the veterans agent. He's asking for a substantial increase, almost double what was approved last year. So I guess it's either going to have to go to a part-time position, or he's going to look into it some more to figure out how many hours he's going to work, because that's a big chunk of money that it's going to be hard to explain at town meeting.
Which budget was this one? Sorry.
Veterans.
Oh, the veterans. Okay, yeah.
It was 15,831 last year, and he's going for 35,000 this year.
Oh wow, yeah. Okay.
What's driving that cost, Bill? That big a cost increase?
More hours, he says.
More hours.
More hours. More work.
So we're working to refine that. The conversation goes much deeper. But right now it's a stipend position. So we're trying to figure out, our conversation really was, if we're looking to increase a budget, at least I can't stand up and justify a position that has a stipend of $35,000, but no set schedule. That's a hard sell. So yeah, kind of similar to what Bill said, we need to evaluate the best options for that position. I was actually at a conference over the weekend, and Rainham and Bridgewater are regionalizing their veteran services. They asked if we'd be interested. So there's tons of different opportunities out there. We're working through them. I'm working with Steve. Steve does an excellent job So working with him to try to figure out, where's that kind of happy medium? Is it time to make a change? Do we need to bring in someone more hours? Do we need to stick with the stipend? So we're working through that. But Steve did a nice job of pulling together the data. So we'll continue reviewing that, and I'll provide you with my recommendation.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Sounds great. So look, sounds like I'm just the laggard here, I guess. I haven't had a chance to meet with my department heads as of yet. I was supposed to meet today, actually, but I got pulled into the office, so we pushed that back to next week. So, but so we'll have that done shortly, I guess. So I'm just the last remaining one. Actually, I don't know. I haven't heard from EJ. Cody, were you able to connect with him on his budgets, or? Not sure actually where you went. Yeah.
We have not yet.
Okay.
We're trying to work through via Zoom, and the departments he has, a lot of them aren't.
The smaller ones, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of those haven't really submitted anything or are just level funded. So if there's a
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Anything else from anyone on the budget liaison front, I guess? And then I guess so as far as moving forward, I guess, Cody, so are you going to plan out to have the department heads come in February, right?
Yeah, the goal would be to February, we'll start having them in. Hopefully that process is much more efficient and, doesn't need to go quite as in depth. And then during those meetings, we will have also presented to you an administrative recommended budget. So you can see kind of the differences and, there's several areas that Sandy and I have discussed. We're recommending some cuts. We need to ultimately, and we'll explain those variances and what the department is requesting versus what we're recommending.
Okay. All right. So we can just add, so obviously we have the weekly meetings on Mondays, I guess. So we'll just add a standard agenda item there that will just kind of cover the budget department head reviews, I guess. And then, if you want to just schedule out, whoever's available for whatever days, it's fine. We'll plan to, meet with somebody, I guess, each week.
Yeah, I'll put together a proposed schedule. Some of the more intricate budgets that maybe need a little more refining, we'll push out a little bit later. And then some of the more straightforward budgets that, we feel pretty confident in explaining at this point, we can put towards the beginning of the month. So, but we can, I can send you and Katie that information so it's on the agenda, which departments will be presenting.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be great. All right. Anything else from anyone on the budget front for now, anyways? Obviously, this would be a big ticket item for the next upcoming couple months, I guess, really. All right. So then moving on, I guess, the next one is on the agenda is the capital planning update. So we do have 2 sessions scheduled upcoming. So first one is this Wednesday, where we'll be reviewing the police and fire capital planning items. And then on, I think Wednesday, the 31st, right? We're still targeting that one, right, Cody? For the second
That's
set.
the goal. Sandy was supposed to check with Mike Zarella to see if he was able to attend.
I haven't reached out to him yet. I'll have to try to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. But so hopefully, so the goal will kind of be having that nailed down, if possible in January. And then we can, once we have that together, we'll obviously present up the recommendations from the committee to you all. So, so that's, more to come with that in February as well. Next item on the agenda. Well, any questions on that actually before?
Yeah, Todd, is that going to be on a Zoom meeting or in person on the planning?
In person, it's going to be in the selectmen's meeting room. So if you want to attend, feel free to. This upcoming Wednesday is scheduled for 6 p.m. in the selectmen's meeting room there. And then, as you heard, the secondary one is tentative at the moment. So once we nail that down, I can share the date and time with you.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. And that goes for anybody else too. If obviously it's a public meeting, so if anyone wants to pop in, I mean, certainly more than welcome, obviously. So goes without saying. So, but otherwise, we'll present back the committee recommendations to everyone once we have that together. Okay, all right. So then moving on, I guess, to the next was the liaison updates. I don't know, was there anything, Jim or Frank or anyone else, I guess, anything to share on?
So we did have another meeting with the zoning bylaw committee review. Cody was there, Frank was there, so it was John Bruno and Jerry and Jeremy. So I think it's been going along pretty well. We've worked through a number of the articles. Where we're at right now is just doing an overview of kind of what things that we still need that have to be done. I think all those who had other ideas or other input sent out an email to the rest of the group on organization and content for suggestions to look at. So I think we're meeting again at the end of the month, and we'll see where we go from there.
Yeah, we also had a pretty lengthy presentation regarding the MBTA, what is that, R3? What do they call that, R3, Cody?
3A.
3A process and rezoning and stuff. So that was pretty interesting. So that's getting some traction there.
All right. Anything else from anyone? No. Okay. All right. So then moving on the agenda was the next item was the correspondence. I did see Caesar dropped an email note to everyone just in regards to the finance committee folder and the underlining budget folders. Everyone has access to the finance committee folder, right? And everybody familiar with how to get to the budget in there.
I didn't read that email yet. Did that change?
Yeah, I think the link itself changed, I guess, but it's
okay.
Like all of the folders are within the finance committee structure. So if the hierarchy is just the finance committee folder, and then within there you'll see all the various fiscal budgets and things of that nature. So, everybody should have access. If you pin like a previous link, like you may not be able to just directly off of that link. Right. That would be really the only change. But as far as access, goes, everyone should have access to the folder as you did before. So nothing there has changed or anything. I think he did. I haven't tested it, but he did drop, I think, the link in the email as well, directly to the folder. If you don't have it saved otherwise.
There's a temporary link, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, if everybody can just take a peek at that when you get a chance, if you haven't already, and if you have any issues, certainly Caesar's available to help, but I think everybody should be good there. And then the next item was just as may arise. Was there anything that anyone else came across that's kind of popped up or anything to bring up today's meeting? No? Okay. All right, great. And then next item is the public participation. Is there anyone online have anything? Sounds like no, it's a no. All right, so then the last agenda topic is just the next meeting planning. So the next scheduled meeting is Monday, February 5th at 6 p.m. And so we'll add in the department budget reviews, hopefully starting then, and we'll have some updates on some of the other items like we discussed. That also will kick off the weekly session. So starting with that February 5th meeting and onward will be, weekly Mondays at 6 p.m. just as a reminder. So as we, really start getting into the crunch of the budgets up until the town meeting. Well, I guess that's it. I guess would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Cheryl. Roll call vote. Frank?
Yes, to adjourn.
Thank you, Jim.
Yes, to adjourn.
Bill?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
And I am a yes as well. Motion carries 6-0. Meeting is adjourned at 6:27 p.m.
Thanks.
Right.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.